Good morning, everybody. My name is Tung Liao. In Chinese, that means colleague. We are friends. Nice to meet old Montessori friend colleagues here. You are all Tung Liaos too. I'm retired from the university 2 years ago, but still holding two major projects promoting alternative education in Taiwan. One is financed by the Ministry of Education to promote alternative education. And the other one is Montessori, Taiwan Montessori Education Center, sponsored by a private foundation. Today, what I'm gonna talk about is what we did in the TMEC. I didn't do that myself. I'm just a servant of my center. So I would like to introduce my team here because they do most of the work. I only do like lip service most of the time. And so let me introduce Sandra. Sandra? Yeah. She's the consultant. She had 4 certificates from 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, and 12 to 18. I don't know what else can you have. Yeah, she's our consultant and the director of the elementary training program. Also, Dr. Yongkang. Yongkang in Chinese means health, healthy forever. Yeah, that's a blessing name. He is a philosopher and also a very active educational reform activist in Taiwan. And he is a very nice guy too. Last night is the first time he danced. So if you don't see him, maybe at noon you can ask him, dance again. And Grace is in charge of the most administrative job in our office. So I always follow her instruction. She always tell me, remind me, you have to do this and that. And Ruby, she holds adolescent license. She also is a good cook. Yeah, and cook education too. Okay. What? Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah, the purpose of my talk is gonna talk about the TMEC stories, our journey, our partner, and how Montessori education finds its place within Taiwan's changing climate. To understand why we try to promote Montessori education in Taiwan, we need to understand a little bit about the educational background in Taiwan. For decades, Taiwan's education system was very rigid. Lots of exams, big exams, small exams. Those from China, our friends must be very familiar with that. And rote learning, very limited individuality and creativity. Although we perform pretty good in the international test, but that caused a lot of happiness from the kids. And the atmosphere is quite tight, but you know, before 1987, there's a big storm compressed the whole society. We have martial law. And if anything that go against the public policy, that's go against the government, and that's not allowed. So luckily, we lived the martial law in that year, 1987, so everything became possible. Free speech, free association, freedom of press. Of course, people want to say something about what their children are facing. So lots of demonstrations going against the rigid system. And one of most representative, most important movement is happened in 1994. Around 300,000, which is very rare, because during the martial law era, it's not possible. But in 1994, the social atmosphere is very different. People are freed, are brave to go out, and they go out and shout. If you look at the picture, in the Chinese characters means that we want to bury three main obstacles to true education. That's the ideology of exam-driven education, and the cult of control and management, and the culture of cheapness and crudity. We want to get rid of them. The parents and the kids together, they shout, they want to get rid of them. And what are we need? What are we want? Well, they have four main things to ask for. The first one is smaller classes and smaller schools. We used to be proud of ourselves because we have the biggest elementary school in the whole wide world. We have more than 10,000 kids in one single school. Imagine that. If you have such kind of big school, how can you manage it without some very rigid form of control? So we ask for a small school. Right now we have too much small school, no? New problem. And we ask for more senior high schools and universities. Why? Because if we have enough among the senior high school and universities, then children in the elementary school or junior high school, they don't have to cram for exam, right? They are so abandoned of place. Why do I have to work so hard to kick off others and get into the good schools? So we ask for better school, more better schools. That's the second need. The third one is modernize the education system. The education system is too old. It, only fit for examination, not the variety, not to help children to grow. And also we need a Fundamental Education Act, a law to protect everything. Okay, so this event became a turning point, pushing Taiwan toward educational diversity. Even today, we still always mention, do you remember 410? What we need. So it's still very important. And in 1999, there's a law founded. We call it the Fundamental Education Act. In that act, we declare that education should respect diversity and parental choice. That's very, when I read it, even today, still feel touched. Because, before and after, it's quite different. But however, only one law is not enough to change the whole system. So in 2014, we established 3 other laws. We call it 3 laws of experimental education. You might feel it's weird. Why do you call it experimental? Well, it's in a very broad way of definition, because everything, every day is new, right? If your education, your practice is different from the regular one, then we call it that is experimental. So experimental is not the way that we did it in the lab. It's the very broad way that allowing different thought to become reality in the school. We have 3 laws. The first one, we call it Enforcement Act for School-Based Experimental Education. This law allows public schools to transform as they wish if they can have a plan, thorough plan, and persuade, got accepted by the local community. Then the public school can transform into any kind of school, like Montessori school or Waldorf schools. Okay, that's the first one. You don't have to worry about the national curriculum. That's very, I think it's revolutionary, because everybody believes we need some kind of national curriculum. But if you put it in today in AI's environment, any kind of a national curriculum, I think it's kind of constraint to educator. We tried to release it in 2014. And the second act is for non-school based. It's basically for the private. The parents can homeschool from age 6 to 18. You can homeschool your own kids if you can persuade the community, the local community, the local government, and then you can do homeschooling, or 3 to 4 until most it's 30 person. You can have a group, an experimental group, or you can form a quasi like pseudo schools. I mean, it's a private school. You can have more than 30 kids in the school and less than 240. That's a private one. You can run any kind of school. If you can come up with a good plan and persuade the committee, then you can run your own school. Of course, there's a limit, like 5 years, 3 years, 6 years, and after, before the end of the period, the government will send a team to evaluate whether you are following your plan. That's the we call it non-school. Non-school means you don't have to care even about the space. You know, space, you can rent an apartment. You can rent a temple or the surplus place of a public school, because the student population is getting less, right? There's not lots of space. You can rent the space and run your own school. That's the second one. And the third one is governing the commissions of the operation of public school at senior high school level and below to the private sector for experimental education. That is charter school, like what we know in America, the charter school. The public school public money run by private. Okay, so with these three law, it become officially we embrace alternative and innovative education. schools, community, and families could design their own education program. So, before 2014, there are only a handful of Montessori elementary schools. We have a lot of Montessori kindergartens, many. In the corner, you accidentally hit someone, and that's from Montessori kindergarten. A lot of kindergartens. Well, Montessori has no patent, so everybody can use Montessori. But for the elementary school, it's not easy. So we only have very few private, no public, before 2014. After 2014, Montessori program expanded very quickly because, as you know, the law allowed the private and even public to transform their school type into a more innovative type. And of course, in this atmosphere, more parents and educators are exploring how Montessori could be accessible for all. Is that possible? Okay, so that comes the birth of TMEC and our imagine. In 2018, two founders from Y2 Foundation, they came to my university, came to my office, and they told me, we have been watching you for a while. We know you. Could you help us to promote Montessori education in Taiwan? I asked them why. They say, our kids went to Montessori kindergarten, and we enjoy the kids receiving education from there very much. However, in Taiwan, it's very expensive to send your kids to any kind of Montessori school. So they say, why should Montessori be limited to those who can afford it? I would like to have my kids to have Montessori education, but I would like to see other people who are not so affluent can send their kids to a Montessori school too. Can you help us? So the idea is exactly fit my as an education professor's idea that education should be for all, not for only elite. So we decided to form TMEC based in the university, and they with the financial support and unlimited trust, we begin the journey. What we have done is about three dimensions. First, we try to promote Montessori educational idea, philosophy, because not very popular. Of course, everybody knows Montessori, but everybody have a different understanding of Montessori. Like in the dark house, and you touch an elephant, part of elephant, that kind of, maybe not that close. No. You heard the voice. Anyway, we need to bring the idea to the public first. And then we try to train and support Montessori teachers. And the third one is to transform and developing public schools, because public schools in Taiwan is free. From elementary school to junior high school to senior high schools are free, tuition free. If we can use those public resources, then Montessori will be affordable and accessible, right? Okay, so we promote Montessori idea first. Well, when I attend the adolescent programs in 2018 in Hershey. That's the picture. One of my friends, who is a very famous educator in Taiwan, tell me, why do you study something so rigid? So even, she says, so dumb. Well, that's a misunderstanding, right? And someone would say, it's very usual that we will hear that. Isn't that for kids with special needs only? Will that fit my normal kids? And isn't that for kindergarten only? A lot of misunderstanding. So step by step, we try to break the stereotype. First, we make it big. At the beginning of our center, we start with the adolescent program. We don't even have elementary program. But why do we start from introducing adolescent program? Because in our culture, parents always thinking about the future. If my kids go to the kindergarten, Montessori kindergarten, how about when he or she graduate from here, where is the good school, the Montessori elementary school? After elementary school, where is the middle school? Well, they are not asking for Montessori University yet. But we think if we have a trustworthy adolescent experience present to the parents, to the public, then people will know that Montessori is not just for very little kids. They are for the adolescents too. So we invite, I think a lot of people you know here, Rory, Michael, and Adams, and Kelly, they are from the States, and Pipa and Alex are from Australia here, and Anne and Crystal are from the Philippines. Carol, Adams, they worked in Hong Kong, because at that time we searched from the internet, where is the good adolescents program educators, and we invite them to Taiwan. We gave, I think it's a 1 week long workshop. So they tell the people, how do they help their adolescents, and what come out after the programs, what their kids become. So that's very convincing. And also in the last few years, we also invite a lot of different speakers from global, from different places. Like Michael Watzke several times to talk about math, because in Taiwan, people believe that you don't do math well, then you are nothing. That's still very, very, it's a stereotype still. And we also have a continuing course from Laurie, and we also invite Mark to give us about how to use AI. A lot of lectures and workshops. We're trying to bring different ideas, different level of Montessori education into Taiwan. We also, to convince the parents, the public, we also bring the result of education, Montessori education. So we invite a graduate from Montessori school kids to our center and let them share their experience. Seeing is believing. When the parents can see that their children can become like that, they feel comfortable sending kids to the school. Okay, all the activities, lectures, workshops are all free. Free, because we try to lower the cost for participation. All the money come from Y2 Foundation. This Andy and Cynthia, they are very kind. They are not looking for any fame, or they don't mind if we never remind them. We never mention about their name. They only want to have better education for next generation. So that kind of spirit really inspired me to do more, because I only pay a little bit labor. They do all the things, and Y2 Foundation pay the money. Why do I care? Right? Okay, we try to open door for everyone, because we know in the next century, in the next era, we need education. Taiwan is an island with very limited natural resources. We need human resources. And we need better education. Instead of cramming the very limited knowledge, we need to develop people. We need the child's potential be developed. Everyone, not just a few. So after everybody getting familiar with Montessori, here comes the next question. Okay, where are the teachers? Where are the schools? You guys don't just give us dream, give us schools too. Yeah, so that comes the next problem. Yeah, but so that comes the training and supporting of Montessori educators. First, it's most easy way would be sending people to the well-established training place, right? AMI, AMS, we respect especially AMI very much. So our first choice is trying to send our potential teachers to AMI, but AMI costs a lot money. If we want to expand the faculty, that's not viable. No matter AMI or AMS will cost we a lot of money, and we cannot do other things almost. So we decide to have our own program, but invite AMI trainer to help us. However, we are not accepted because AMI have their own policy. Their trainers won't work or help others not affiliate to AMI. We try to contact AMI headquarters several times later, but we never got response. I told them that we only for the public good. We are not taking any tuitions from the teachers. Is that possible? But so far we didn't get any response. So nothing can stop us, because if this is the road we have to go, then this road is blocked. We will turn or we will dig a new road. That's what we did. Before that, I think about TSMC. Everybody knows TSMC. Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer company. They started in 1987. Almost 40 years ago, nobody believed they're gonna be the leader. And they create their own brand. They create their own way of training their workers and the way they do business. And today, they become one of the most important semiconductor producer. And we think, if there's no AMI, no AMS, why don't we have TMEC? Look at those 4 letters. T, Sam. M, Sam. C, Sam. Well, they have S, we have M, right? We have E. So we decide to go our own road. We decide to create our own training program. Because in our schools, in our small schools, in rural areas, we need those schools. We cannot wait for the sympathy or empathy from any other place. So we start our training programs during summer and winters, because only at that time the public school teachers can go. And we offer the course without any charge, free. We also provide free accommodations. See, my team will help me. And where is our teacher? Where's our trainer? Well, is that right? But I start late. I will be quick. Training program. We have AMI, MS trained Montessori guide serve as a trainer. The benefit is that they teach in Mandarin. We don't need a translation. If MI or AMS trainer came, they will need a translation. So we double the training time available for real training. And the training process is like a mid-age education, because those trainers are not very well trained like AMI trainer, but they are very well experienced teachers. As I mentioned, before 2014, we already have a few schools, and those teachers are very enthusiastic when we talk about building our own brand of training program. They came. And also, it's important to close to the local knowledge and needs. So we already finished one round of training, and now, last summer, we start the second round. So it's ongoing. And for the quality assurance, we work with Montessori Accreditation Council for teacher education to be sure that our training program can be assured that the quality is internationally recognized. And I think after 3 or 4 rounds, we will have our own local trainers. And we can have our own thought about Montessori, how to let Montessori become localized good education. Okay, that's that's the training side pictures. We also try to bring dementia care into Taiwan, because it's a big need. We first invite Ann Kelly and then Jennifer Brush, and then we found, they cannot come anymore because AMI is concerned. So, well, there's no such thing as a waste of time on our journey. We decide to turn to get help from a different place. We cooperate with a very, actually they have done this kind of education for more than 30 years now. It's a name, it's an organization called Center for Applied Research in Dementia. They use Montessori method to help dementia person, and we cooperate with them twice already. First is an online lecture, and then it's a 2-day workshop that attract many people, of course, free, because we want to bring Montessori to everybody who needs it. We want to offer Montessori that is low cost, even maybe no cost. Okay, we also try to build a community for all the Montessori teachers in Taiwan. Every year we would organize community building camp and provide networking opportunity for Montessori practitioners. Okay, the third one is that we have so many schools, small schools, right? Around 1,000 small schools with less than 100 kids, and more than 500 small schools with fewer than 50 students. And the smallest one I visit is only 2 kids. And you know how much do they spend? A lot of money. It's 10 million Taiwan dollars. That's how much in US dollars? 30,000 US dollars. And so it's for only 2 kids, because that by running a small school, we still use a whole bureaucratic system, all system. So that costs a lot of money. And that can be a problem because as the local governments are getting not rich, then they will cut the small schools. They abolish the small schools. So we want to help them to transform to Montessori schools, if it's possible, because for the Montessori school, they do mixed age. They don't need that many teachers, right? So, how can Montessori be public? The strategies we use is to establish model schools, make it possible, let everybody know that it's viable in Taiwan. Now, in order to convince the public and the government, we start sign contract with 3 public schools. Unfortunately, 1 dropped in the process because it's too much work, too much change to go against the bureaucratic habit. It's difficult. But 2 schools succeed, 1 in Taipei and 1 in Taichung, in the center of the school. What do? First, we accompany them writing experimental education program, which apply to local governments and Montessori education, for Montessori education. And we also support for teacher training. Okay. 2 minutes is a Taiwan time. Taiwan time sometimes longer. Subsidizing the purchase of teachers' aid and provide professional consulting and counseling. Usually, Sandra will go there and help them, because she was elementary school principal for 6 years and very experienced. Okay, that's the school side. I won't say too much. Growing public schools, we are still starting to see the impact not those two schools are very stable now. Those two schools that we transform is already become a very popular school. People are moving in because they heard about Montessori. It's a magical place, right? That will transform everything. So they come from a school that are very few kids. They become a popular school. In Taiwan also began. We are happy to see that working with local government to assist the public schools in their transformation. So we are looking for more. It's difficult to transform public schools, but we're trying every possibility to help. Okay, closing. No, not yet. Not yet. Taiwan time is a little bit longer, just 1 minute. Looking back in the process, I really feel this. When you want something, all the universe comprised in helping you achieve it. We see lots of inspiration from global voice, cooperation, support, community teamwork, even frustration, help, because that gives us strength, resilience to change the environment, to make our own program possible. If we rely on foreign assist, we will not be standing up on our own feet. Looking forward in the future, like Harari, he's very worried about human being under the threat of AI. He said human beings are now hackable animals. We could be useless class someday. But I'm not worried. With the Montessori education, that's when I was studying in Hershey farm schools. One day, I met two senior high students. I asked them, what are you going to do after you graduate? They say, well, we can do a lot of things. We can apply for Ivy League universities. We can do our own business. We can do many things. And I ask, how are you so confident? And this response really touched me. They say, because we know how to learn. Teachers, administrators, or parents, if your kids tell you that, then you think you can retire like me, right? Because they know how to learn. In the era of AI, I think Montessori is even more important. I'm so glad that I have a chance to introduce our experience. Only a few steps, not very stable. We're still on the road to learn more. And thank you very much for your inspiration.